got an interesting conversation that I am going to have with you guys today. And if you can use whatever I'm talking about, tap in. And if you can't, then tell somebody else about it because they may be able to use this episode for entertainment purposes only. So let's get into this app. Now, some years ago, I lived in Beverly Hills. And we would get this newspaper that would come to the house every now and then, or no, once a week or twice a week, something in that, or however frequently you wanted that paper to come to you. And it was called the Beverly Hills Courier, or it was the Beverly Hills Post. It was one of those. And I remember reading this newspaper one day. And at the back of the newspaper on this specific day, there was this sort of like a testimonial where they had a bunch of famous people who lived in Beverly Hills at some point in their lives do a quote. So, a famous quote, right? And one of the quotes, I forget which person it was from, but it was a woman who who gave a saying that said, "I wish that when I was young, that someone older would have told me to choose something to do with my life when I was in a state of confusion." So, right? Choose something and just go with that as far as you can go. Let the cookie crumbs or let it crumble if it doesn't work out, and then go choose something else versus just go out there and explore the world and find something, which are both great advice, right? But that key piece is you have to choose something in order to see how something turns out. So you have to start something and have an ending of something before you just become a jack of all trades and a master of none. I hope you've heard that before, right? A jack of all trades and a master of none, which meant that you never saw the end of anything that you ever started because the choices were vast, just like it is today, especially in this beautiful country that we live in, right? America. The land of choices, the land of milk and honey. You can be whatever you want to be in this country. Whatever it is, you could become it. And that is pretty much how it goes. Well, that's not how it goes. I'm going to keep it a buck. That's not how it goes. Because we have a class system in America. And we have that thing that's called access. Access to things that only certain groups of people have access to for whatever reason, right? Whether it's the birthday suit you were born into, or it's how deep the pockets are of whoever raised you, right? Wherever you came up at, whatever side of that the map. That's how your situation ended up. The choices you had to make. The decisions you had to make on those choices. Right? All that to say that we still have the same 24. We all have the same 24. And we all have the same 7-day week. Right? So you can get started in any direction that you want. But if you never see it to its end, then you'll never know if it would have ever worked out for you. I know some of you are like, where are we going with this today? But some of you are right locked center. You right here with me. It's a fact. How will you ever know how you will end up in a certain situation if you put one foot in front of the other towards a single-minded aim? I used to read all of these self-help books I used to listen to these self-help tapes. I was given a bunch of self-help tapes when I was just a young boy, right? The Les Browns, the Zig Ziglars, the Tony Robbins, and on and on and on, right? There was another guy who was really famous, not just Zig. There was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. All of these books that they gave you a blueprint. And all of these speakers, these motivational speakers, that actually gave you a blueprint, right, on how to achieve something. But the first step that I think most of us have a problem with is that first step. Taking the first step, even if it's just a baby step. We look at where we want to become or what we want to experience in life because there's plenty of examples out there, right? There's plenty of examples out there for us to see on the surface. There's plenty of people, plenty of places, plenty of things that we could get ourselves into, or we would love to just feel what that feels like. I know I have. I've seen some people drive around in some things that I wish I could just, my ass could touch the seats of, right? So I just get up the block one time in it to see how it's like, right? I remember there was a saying that save up some money so you could sit in first class on a flight going where, right? Wherever. Just so you could put your ass on the first class plane seat, right? And it'll change your life forever because you'll now want to get back to that first class plane seat, right? Put a Rolex on your arm, right? To see how that feels. See how that makes you feel. Does it scare the sugar honey iced tea out of you? Or is it something that, you are willing to put in the work and pay the price to get there? Which leads me to the point of the episode, guys. You got to pay the price. You have to choose something and decide, I am going to pay the price. And if we're going to pay the price, or you're going to pay the price, because I can't pay it for you and nobody else can, right? Sure, you may be born, like I said, into a socio-economical class of folks that have everything and they could buy your way into wherever it is that you want to go. And a lot of people live that way. And hey, no more power to you. If that's what you wanted and that's what you got, there is nothing wrong with that. You married into it. You married up. You found it. You want it. Nothing, man. More power to you. But to those of us who have to actually make a decision, stand on what it is that we want to do, there's a whole different kind of ball game we have to play. However, all of us are going to suffer, regardless. And I'm not saying suffering is, oh my God, somebody's got you in chain and whips. I pause on that. Right? And I don't take that or speak that lightly. So, trust me when I say, some of us have been that way. Some of us are in that situation today, even if it's just mental. But some of us are in that situation physically as well. And I pray that you make your way out of that. Wherever those chains lie, I pray that you get out of it. But here's the thing. For those of us who have a choice, which many of us do. I had a conversation after going to see Trevor Noah last night, which is I just absolutely love that man's work. I just do. He's so powerful at what he does. He's so poised. He's so confident. He's so just matter of fact about the way he delivers the work, his art form. And the messages, a lot of times, makes a lot of sense. And on the way home, I'm with my best friend in the entire world. And we're having this conversation about our choices in life, which leads back to the quote went like this. I wish that someone had told me to choose a thing and stick with it versus exploring the world looking for things to choose and never choosing anything in order to live my life, right? And that stuck with me. That hit so deep. And we were having this conversation in the car last night on the way home after Trevor's um, show. And we talked about the people that say, I don't know what I want to do. A lot of us have kids that way, right? A lot of us are kids at heart and we're that way. I don't really know what I want to do with my life. But we're doing something that we know we don't want to do. You know what you don't want to do, but you don't choose what you just can't choose what you want to do, right? It's almost like having asked someone, what would you like for dinner? And they say, I don't know. And you say, well, let's go have this. Oh, I don't want that. Well, let's go have this. Well, I don't want that. Oh, I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that. And then it turns into something whole completely different. And a lot of you know and can identify with that too. You know, right? But the conversation went like those people who find what it is that they want out of life. I kind of envy them, right? I envy those people that they know early on what they want to do, or at some point they find what they want to do. They say most men don't find exactly what they want to do until after 40. Okay? I don't know if that's a shorter timeline for women because women obviously think a lot faster than men. I know, I raised women. And anyway, let me get back to the point. And then the flip side of that was choosing a path in life that you kind of go through the motions most of life. You get a job, you were taught to go get a good job. And if you could get a good job, you go to school, get an education so you can get a good job. Or go get a trade that will help you or that will put you on a path where you can acquire material possessions. Right? You could get the car. You could get your first apartment. You could furnish your apartment. You could have some nice clothes and you can go out with your friends and have some entertainment and you could do all of these things because you got the job, right? But you rarely hear or heard choose something, develop that something, build that something, work on that something until it is developed in a way that you could present it now to the world and earn an income off of that, which would then provide the car, which would provide the apartment, the furnishings, the clothing that you desire to wear, and all of the entertainment that you would actually want to do, all while doing this thing that you absolutely love doing. We rarely don't. I never heard it growing up. Hey, choose a business, and or well, unless it pertained to sports, basketball, football, or it pertained to become a singer, or a rapper for many of us, right? Become an entertainer, an actor, an actress, which is also that thing which you choose, which is a craft that you have to build on and you have to work on and you have to deal with the pain of that choice before it bears the fruit that you would like to enjoy while doing the thing that you absolutely fell in love with, became passionate about, and that is worth more than the material things that it brings. I heard a saying, you're hustling backwards. When you're chasing money, and you're not chasing that thing that generates the money, the machine that creates the money flow, right? All right, track with me, guys, right? So, what I also came to understand and learn, because I got late, I was late in the game. I went to school. I graduated college a couple times. Some of you guys already know that. And after I got out of college, I didn't want to do the job that my degree would allow me, or at least get me the interview to do. I didn't want to do it. It was politics. I got a degree in political science. I didn't want to go into politics. Some of my friends said, man, the way you speak and you're intellectual, man, you should probably be a politician. And I said, well, that's not really what I want. I don't want to represent people that way, and I didn't want to fight for a position or a seat that I know nothing about. And then from what I have seen, especially in today's times, that's a dirty game that I kind of just felt like I didn't have the energy for, right? So I got into real estate, which was something that in the beginning I was all hell bent, gun ho, let's go, let's get it, let's do it. But that came with a lot of pain, because that came with a price tag. And everything that you choose comes with a price tag. It comes with a price tag, right? And I say that because you're going to pay a price. And someone put it so eloquently the other day, it was so beautifully stated, that when you drive to any downtown area where there are high rise, where there are skyscrapers, what most of us see is the skyscraper from the top or from ground level up. We see the skyline. Some of them look so beautiful, especially the ones of today, and the architecture of days of old. For me, I'm in love with buildings and what they're able to do to create these buildings. So, what you don't see, literally, is how far down the foundation of that building goes. And a lot of times that foundation goes so deep into the ground, which it would have to, in order to give a skyscraper the stability to withstand the elements, to withstand, here in California where I am, earthquakes, and in other places where there are, elements that we have no control over that kind of wipe out things like tornadoes and a few other things that I won't go too far into. But the point is, they have to build down first. It's the same thing with whatever our choices are. Whatever we choose in life that we say is going to be how we earn a life for ourselves, you're going to have to create a foundation. And if you're creating a solid foundation, and that foundation is going to be strong and withstand the test of the time you want to give to it, then you have to understand that a seed gets planted in the dirt. And what is in the dirt? Darkness, right? What that is, faith based, right? You're sowing seeds in faith, which is dark because you cannot see it. I read in the Bible just today in Romans of things hoped for. When we hope for a thing, what does that mean? That means we don't have that thing. It doesn't exist for us yet. So it's in the darkness. We can't see it. A thing hoped for. We don't hope for things we already have. Who hopes for something that they already have? I'll wait. Answer that question for me. Still, I can wait till my time is over and throughout eternity, and I guarantee you, you will never see it. We don't hope for things that we already have. We hope for things that we don't see, that we would like to experience. Just like that skyscraper. At some point, those builders would like to see that skyscraper come into light, which is above ground to where we can see it. Your dreams are usually created in the darkness when you're asleep or when you're not expressing yourself under the light, right? Even if they are in the mind, I can't see what's in your mind, you can't see what's in my mind. It's impossible to do, right? But you could see it once I've thought about it enough, and I've had to think about it enough in order to bring it to the light for other people to see. Now, once it gets to the light, it may need some work in order for it to stand. But the foundation has already been created because it was in the darkness of your mind. Apply that to all things in life, right? If you can. That's just how I'm talking to myself and my kids and the people around me, the people that follow me. Listen, I'm no expert in your life, as I stated that before. I'm not the expert of your life. I'm not the expert in your days, right? You are. But if I could advise you a little bit and you could take it with a grain of salt, use what you can, don't hold me to it. Because my experience is not your experience. However, I know what I know. And if you can identify with something that I'm talking about and use it, then use it. Use it for yourself, right? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Don't hold me accountable. Hold yourself accountable for your efforts. But the point is that you choose something and start building down versus hoping for something that you're not willing to work on, that you're not willing to build because you saw somebody else have it. You saw somebody else with it. I know I'm guilty. Even to this day, I look out and I see guys like Trevor Noah. I see guys in my space doing what I imagine to be making a killing. They're doing this thing, man. And some of them are. Right? You heard how I so described Trevor and his work. Some of the other guys that I follow in their work. But what I wasn't and have not stated is the fact that I wasn't there when they started. I wasn't there when they were building into the ground. I wasn't there when they were trying to figure things out. When they were going through their trials and their tribulations, when they were questioning themselves and their loved ones was questioning them and their friends may have been questioning them about, why are you doing this? Who made you an authority? Someone said to me the other day, you just made that stuff up. I did. Based on what I know. And that's why I'm talking to you, telling you something based on what I know. And based on the teachings that I have learned, that you have to build it. You have to build down first, right? You have to choose it. And then you build it from that point. Or back to the conversation in the car, you find that those of us who say, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what I should choose for my life, I don't know how I want to contribute in the world. You get into your 20s with that attitude, you go into your 30s with that attitude, with those same words. You'll get into your 40s with those same words. You'll make it into your 50s with those same words. While you're watching someone who started with you in their 20s say, I'm going to stand on this thing that I want to do, that I believe I can do, and I'm going to ride it until I can't ride it any longer. Now that's a hard road, but all of the roads are hard. Choose your hard. Pick your poison, I said. I've heard as well. Pick your hard. Because it's all going to be hard, because at some point you're going to come and say, I hate this job. I hate these people. I hate what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. And I want out, but I don't know what to do. Versus that flip side, I'm going to stand on this and I'm going to do this with everything in me because I chose it. I'm going to roll with whatever comes with it. If it's success that I experience, praise God. If it's failure that I experience, at least I gain the lessons. And at least I gain something that I could apply to something that is outside of this, something new that I choose to do. Versus, I don't know. I really don't know. Now I'm depressed. Now I'm angry. Now I'm jealous. Now I'm envious. Now I can't stand the world. Now I'm just always in anger and always in rage and I don't know why. We all are going to pay a price, guys. No matter what, you're going to pay a price for whatever the choices you make. That price doesn't always have to be painful, but you're going to experience some pain in order to learn what it is that you gain. Someone said this, and I'll close this out, that in order to make $1 million, you have to go through the pain of what it takes to make $1 million. How many of us want to experience that pain? Well, many of us don't have $1 million. We all want it, but we don't want to experience the pain of it. Right? Some of us say, oh, look at Jeff Bezos. Oh, look at Elon. Or look at what they're doing over here. And look at what these guys. And now they're all outward examples of someone who went through some fires. Of someone, even if it was handed to them, they went through some fires to hold on to it if they still possess it today. You're going to pay a price. You're going to either build down or you're going to build up. Or you're going to build down and you're going to decide as you go down, okay, I've gone further enough down. Now let's turn it around and go build it and go to where I want to go. And if you could do that, then chances are you'll live a life that, at least to some degree, you can say, I did it my way. I'm Chuck Rucker, guys. Ruck's Place is the podcast, and I'm building it right here with you. And I appreciate you guys from all around the world. I appreciate you guys for coming and checking in and checking out and hanging out and talking about it. Even if you tap in for just a few seconds, I appreciate you guys' love. I appreciate you guys' presence, and we'll catch up next week on the next episode. Peace.